This classic episode of the Electric Playground is brought to you by PNP Games, your source for everything video games. Support the partners that support Electric Playground. Remember, this episode first aired in 2000.
CONKER'S Bad Fur Day. Now here's a game where you play a drunk squirrel who likes to pee on folks. Anyway, check out CONKER'S Bad Fur Day. So I'm here with Ken Lobb, and we are talking about the strangest, funniest, oddest game I've ever seen on the Nintendo 64. CONKER'S Bad Fur Day.
Let's make a game that's exclusively targeted towards the mature market. At the same time, though, this game really creates a new genre. The idea is, what if you could make a game that was more like a sitcom?
You have all sorts of weapons. You have pee, you have, what else do you have?
Oh, you have guns, bazookas, tanks. You have a frying pan to bat them upside the head. You know, of course, you have your bodily fluids. Yeah, there's all these burning guys, and they're trying to take them out. You know, they're burning, and the only liquid that happens to be handy is, you know.
What other unique situations like the pee are there?
Well, there's a really cool scene, actually, where you got to fight this big, dinosaur. You're tossed into a coliseum, and there's a guy there kind of, you know, Nero-like. Right. And, you know, Conker has no idea where he is or why he's there.
My God, that was just Joanna Dark.
That was Joanna Dark. So anyway, you got Conker running around being chased by this dinosaur, and then he's able to hypnotize the dinosaur, jump on the dinosaur. Then you have to run around and basically chew all these other bad guys in half.
Really?
Big boss gets pissed off, leap down into the arena. You have to, bite him in his vitals.
And there's lots of swearing, cuss words, a lot of stuff you guys bleeped out of this.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, again, the idea of the game is that Conker's been plucked out of his cute little world and thrown into reality. And reality, people swear.
So let's talk about the comedy. I mean, that's pretty unique. I mean, everybody kind of uses comedy, but it seems like it plays a much important role in CONKER'S.
Yeah, well, I mean, as I said before, you know, comedy is what's driving me to play this game. And because of that, there's an extra element, which is once you know how to beat something, this game is really fun to show to your friends.
There you go. CONKER'S Bad Fur Day, one of the only games where you can pee on people.
Cheers.
I'm here with Christian and Edge. They're my two favorite wrestlers of all time. Oh, and well, actually, here they are right here.
Oh.
Well, why am I looking at this thing? We'll put that away.
Put that away.
So, hey, let me ask you this. What is your favorite video game?
Tommy, before we get started, I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah.
I got 2 kills today in Perfect Dark.
2 kills.
Yeah.
They were on Victor, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
Because, you know, I pretty much wasted your partner
2
here.
kills.
Yeah, Tommy, I got killed,
You got killed.
but had fun doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite video game of all time?
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
I have to go.
Frogger over here. We got Frogger over here. That's kind of like a girls' game, you know that, right?
Well, Galaga was good, but I like WrestleMania 2000, I think.
WrestleMania, which you guys are in that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I know you guys got a huge match
I
tonight.
could take a couple kills on you too.
Good luck. Maybe me and you should go at it.
Calling you out.
All right.
Let's go right now.
I got an appointment I got to be at.
Yeah.
So
Punked them.
I'll see.
Take a rain check.
I'll see you guys later.
For more information on any of the games or stories featured on EP, visit our website at www.electplay.com.
Not taking a lunch break? We're all having a heated argument on what video game has the best original soundtrack. Oh, sorry, I'm just browsing the hundreds of retro classic and contemporary hit video games available now on our web store, pnpgamesonline.com. Support us while we support the Electric Playground Classic. Yeah. It's Streets of Rage 2, by the way. What? The best OST. You know, I was never able to grow my own mustache. Till now.
We're over the scene right now. You gotta check out Fox's new game, World's Scariest Police Chases. Now I'm here with Tim, okay? And we are talking about this awesome game, World's Scariest Police Chase. It's kind of like Driver, except from the other side.
Driver, except you're the cop.
Right,
So,
right.
Although the game does have a bad boy mode, which you can actually be the perpetrator for about 15 missions or so.
Really?
Yeah, so if you get tired of chasing, you can always be the one being chased.
So that's what I do right away.
What we've got here is like a driver prototype engine they had built for Driver, but ended up doing this game instead.
Excellent. So now what's the different modes? Run us through from the time I boot up the game. What happens exactly?
Well, you've got obviously you have a story mode, which it revolves around 2 police officers in this fictional city called Ashland. It's roughly about 40 missions or so, all based around the story with gangs, militia, standard, bad guy stuff, right? There's an explore mode where you can go just explore the city as a cop, and at the same time pull over speeders, pull over drunk drivers.
Cool.
You accumulate fines. After certain levels of fines, you get to unlock a different car. At this point too, there's a bad boy mode, which we're looking at about 15, 20 missions where you're the perpetrator, just like Driver. At this point, we're counting on a multiplayer component as well. Yeah, and that's gonna feature things like racing, chasing, pass the bomb kind of thing. When you set bombs, people have to go disarm them, that kind of thing. We're also looking at like a total just all-out battle, between cops and robbers. Like, just in your whole goal, just to disable the other car, ramming it, using weapons, that kind of thing. So
Now can you run over pedestrians in the game? That's what I really want to know.
yeah, you can run over pedestrians.
Unlike Driver, where you just barely miss them by an inch.
Racing taxi where they run away
Right.
that last split second. No, but you hit pedestrians.
You can hit them.
You can hit them, and you get penalized.
See, that should be a mode. Well, penalized?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
You become a road cop, a dirty Harry, if you will.
Hey, that's great.
Yeah.
See, I would just do that. I would just go right into the game right away and start hitting as many people as I can. That's what I would do.
5 different camera angles you can play from.
Yeah.
And one's an in-dash, one's a first person, one's behind the car, the chase, as well as the helicopter. It's like watching the show. I mean, that's the whole goal.
Yeah.
And so it'll give you the camera angles that you would see. But you'll see the ultimate action angles where all the crashes are. You'll have John Bonnell doing the voiceovers.
World's Scariest Police Chases. Here with Tim, checking it all out. Awesome game. You got to go get it.
For more information on any of the games or stories featured on EP, visit our website at www.electplay.com.
Oh, here be a new game for your computer. They call Rune.
I'm sitting with Timothy Gerritsen from Human Head Studios, and we're talking about a brand new game called Rune. How are you doing, Timothy?
Good.
Thanks for the cold, refreshing drink. The water tastes good. I see that you've got your own refreshing drink there.
We have our own mead in a drinking horn. It's a honey ale. It's made out of bees honey.
And what's Rune all about, man?
Rune's a 3D third-person Viking action game. You basically play this young Viking warrior in around 800 AD.
Yeah.
And basically it's a Conan-esque type of game. It's all about melee, hand-to-hand combat. Vikings were known for their axes and their shields and getting in close and whacking things. So you play this young Viking warrior who basically goes around through the game whacking bad guys. He's looking for the guy who killed his father, fighting his way through a bunch of different levels. Involves Viking mythology, Norse gods, that sort of thing.
So tell me how Rune is different from, let's say Heretic 2.
Okay, what's interesting, you mentioned that Heretic 2 is a game that we really enjoyed ourselves and we're very much into. I would say, though, that the big difference is the melee focus. I mean, it's basically getting in there close with a sword and a shield, and it's all man-to-man, whereas Heretic 2 had a lot of ranged weapon attacks and magical attacks. We have magical weapons and attacks, but it's all still based on very much on getting in there man-to-man. We want to go with more of a Soul Calibur or Tekken-esque type of combat within a 3D free rotating environment.
Now this game's coming out for the PC, obviously. Is it a multiplayer game? Is there going to be a way to hook up with your friends?
Yeah, actually we're going to have deathmatch. Will be in what we feel is a very unique deathmatch environment. We're trying to make very interactive levels where, like, we have a Viking bar hall where you go in and you can fight swinging from chandeliers and throwing cups of mead at each other and that sort of thing.
There's that mead again. Careful with the mead! Oh!
That's a me dunking. Oh. For more information on any of the games or stories featured on EP, visit our website at www.electplay.com.
Hey, what's your favorite video game of all time? No way, that's mine too! Celebrate video games along with myself and Victor Lucas every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Time on youtube.com/EPNTV. Brought to you in part proudly by PNP Games. Play forever!
One of the weirdest video games I've ever seen in my entire life. You can actually talk to your video game system. It's a game called Seaman on the Dreamcast.
It's got to be the first video game ever which actually recognizes voice and uses voice technology, right?
Yeah, and it has it has over 10,000 vocal responses, so he covers a lot of turf.
Excellent. You know I love the ladies.
It's an experience, it's not really a game. Seaman is a weird sea creature with a human face. Starts as a tadpole, evolves into a fish with legs, and then becomes this mysterious frog-like creature. And then there's a surprise, which I can't talk about. He's not your average fish. He'll give you a lot of attitude, he's pretty sarcastic. If he doesn't like what you're doing, he'll say, bite me. Or if you're talking to him all the time, he said, well, will you get a life? It's the only game that has a microphone for it.
So you can talk and it recognizes voice?
Yes, absolutely. Seaman remembers most things you say, so things that you say may come back and bite you a little later. If you want Seaman's attention, simply tap on the glass, hold down the A and call him.
Hey, you stupid fish, get over here! You freak of nature! Does he like yelling?
He doesn't like yelling, gets mad.
Seaman. Come here, little Seaman. Seaman!
Okay, yes, let's chat, shall we?
First thing I do is I try to kill the little guy.
It's quite easy, actually. If you don't adjust the light or the air or the heat in his tank, you'll find your Seaman floating upside down the next day and you have to start all over.
That's cool. I'm gonna leave her alone to go talk to her TV.
Okay.
You have fun, Stacey. I'll be over here. But go ahead, keep talking.
For more information on any of the games or stories featured on EP, visit our website at www.electplay.com.
Last year, EP gave a Blister Award for Best Game of the Year to Driver on the PlayStation. This year, look out for Driver 2.
I'm with Martin Edmonson. He is from Reflections, talking about Driver 2. We gave Driver Game of the Year at EP last year, so I'm very excited to meet this guy. How you doing?
Hi.
So tell us what's new in Driver 2.
Well, what we've tried to do really is give people a genuine enhanced gameplay experience in the second one. We've always tried to do that with our games. The game obviously has 4 new cities, but we've overhauled the engine to give us the ability to have things like curved roads and proper slip roads and exit ramps off freeways, which, it really enhances the feeling of reality in the city.
Yep.
The other thing we've done, I suppose the next biggest thing we've done is that Tanner, the driver, can now get out of the car and he can run around. And it takes a view, kind of behind him, so you see the character wandering around. Cool. And you can also go in his eyes and see a first-person view as well. And there are a lot more cars in Driver 2, so we've got things like, obviously normal cars, but we've got trucks, vans, we've got motorhomes, fire trucks, ambulances, even stretch limos in Chicago. So any car that you can find in the game, you can break into it and take the car. And for some missions you need to, some missions it's just purely optional.
That's amazing. I'm seeing this game on the regular PlayStation, on PlayStation 1, and you've got all of that stuff implemented in the first PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean that's really because of the size of the team. Half of them probably are just working on reworking routines and optimization so that we're actually able to do this.
Tommy would kill me if I didn't ask, are you going to be able to run down people in Driver 2?
No, you will not be able to run down people. If you try and run down people, they just try and get out of the way. They jump out of the way, they scream at you, shout at you, but you can't kill anyone.
They're like stunt people, aren't they? So tell me quickly, what are the cities that we're going to see in the new game?
We have 2 US cities. There's Chicago, with the Blues Brothers feel, and actually some of the music, we're getting licensed music in the game, and there will be a blues sort of music.
Cool.
The other city in the US is Las Vegas, with all the famous, hotels down the strip and what have you. And then we've chosen 2 cities outside of the US, and that's Havana in Cuba and also Rio. And you get to drive down the Copacabana, which is quite entertaining.
There's some pretty deadly hills in Rio, aren't there?
Yeah, there are. You actually drive up into the mountains if you want, yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait. This is going to be one of the best games on PlayStation this year. I know. I cannot wait for Driver 2.
Recently, I had a chance to talk to Mike Rubinelli over at THQ about all the new games they got coming out this year. Let's take a look.
I'm here at THQ with an old friend of mine, Mr. Michael Rubinelli. Isn't it true that THQ is the only publisher in the video game industry who's constantly turned a profit?
You look at every product category from mass market to cutting edge technology to original content. I mean, on down the line, we go head to head, I think, with any company in this business. We just signed up a title called Red Faction. Red Faction. It's a first-person shooter, which I honestly believe is going to get Game of the Show. In fact, this guy named Tim Sweeney, who's very famous, he designed and programmed Unreal Tournament.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah, he said any company that can get geometry modification into their real-time shooter, which means basically you shoot something and it blows a hole in something.
Right.
As soon as somebody figures out how to do that, they're going to take the first-person shooter genre
to a different level.
To a totally different level where it needs to go to. And he said that's about 3 years out. Well, we have it today. We also have Summoner, which is going to be a launch title on PlayStation 2 in North America. It was one of only 2 North American titles shown at the Sony press event yesterday.
Really?
So the other was John Madden Football.
Evil did.
Well, there was this company that was a spinoff of Square that did Parasite Eve.
Right.
A group called
Heavy Iron Studios.
Heavy Iron Studios. Steve Gray. And those guys were huge Evil Dead fans. So it really was a situation where all the planets came into alignment. We have this killer technology, stuff that people have never seen the PlayStation 1
It's amazing.
do before. Oh, it's unbelievable.
Okay, sports titles. Yeah. You got MTV licenses.
Yep. MTV brings a couple things to the table. They really sort of let us know who the sort of the up-and-coming bands are, who they're going to start to put into heavy rotations. So we feel like by the time our game comes out, some of the songs we have are really hot and really cool. The other thing that they do is they sort of bring an image and an attitude to, what is this product all about?
Danger Girl, Rugrats, Power Rangers, Scooby-Doo. One of the biggest games for THQ, I think, is the wrestling.
Yes. SmackDown sold over 1 million units its first month. WrestleMania on the N64 sold over 1 million units. I mean, it's incredible.
Talk about your Game Boy titles, because it's stuff that other publishers have the rights to, but the THQ publishes.
It's funny. We're the #1 third-party publisher in the world of Game Boy titles. So we're doing John Madden and NHL and NASCAR and Triple Play and NBA Live and FIFA. We're doing Tomb Raider. We did Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 2. Yeah, we're doing Tomb Raider. Yep.
You do all this for Game Boy.
All these big name titles for Game Boy.
Now, why do they come to you for Game Boy?
We seem to understand that market, how to sell and who that customer is. We have a great developer database that we work with. We crank out great products. We do them on time. We're very predictable.
And they don't have to do anything. It's amazing. Excellent.
Absolutely.
Mike, thank you very
Tommy,
much.
always
The
pleasure
man
to see you.
behind THQ. This is the guy right here.
For more information on any of the games or stories featured on EP, visit our website at www.electplay.com.
Yeah, well, the way I see it, we're going to need those multi-taps either way, so... Okay, you know how you can listen to music using the internet? The bit rates make it sound like trash, but yeah, sure. What if you could transfer video game files via the internet, save them locally, call it Video Game Passport? SEGA already did it. SEGA Channel in '94. You connect a coaxial cable to your console, you download game demos and cheat codes, all through your cable provider. Well, yeah, but it's gone now, right? Exactly! We are on the brink of a digital future. Someday, all you might require to play video games is a paid monthly subscription and an internet connection. You might not even own your video games at all! Talk about convenience, though, right? Eesh. Well, with those of us with shelves to fill, shop pnpgamesonline.com, your source for everything video games. Enjoy free shipping on orders of $65 Canadian or more within Canada or the USA. Your stash is looking mighty thick, by the way. Guess we're out of a job. Don't you mean extinct?
Okay, so here's the deal. You've been left alone, stranded at the mall. Your girlfriend's gone off shopping. You got nothing else to do. Pick up your Geo Pocket Color and try out Gal's Fighter. It's a new one from SNK. It's got only women in the game. All of the SNK fighters that you've known from Samurai Showdown 2 and Match of the Millennium, King of Fighters, all the ones that you've played on other games before, they're all mixed up in this little brawl fest. It's good, But because Match of the Millennium is so much better, it's kind of hard to recommend this one, and especially because the Neo Geo's got so many other great fighting games. So I'm going to give this game a 7 out of 10. It's fun, it's kooky, it's a bit of a gimmick, but I think you should check it out. What do you think of MediEvil 2 for the PlayStation?
The biggest problem with this game is the animations.
Yes?
Or lack thereof.
Really?
There's absolutely none. I mean,
Sir
the guy.
Dan Fortescue, not enough animation on that guy?
What's his name?
Dan Fortescue.
See, I didn't even care that much about the product to even know that.
When I was playing this, I was thinking, you know, this isn't really any different or better than...
Why did they do MediEvil 2, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and Gex, I mean, I kept thinking about Gex 3, and I thought, you know...
Crash 3.
And Crash. And
every time they did a new game, it got better, the graphics got better, the gameplay got better.
Overall, it's pretty mediocre.
The zombies come up, you hack their arms off, and then you hack their head off, which is kind of fun. Although the one thing I had a problem with is that once you hack a guy's head off, and it tumbles on the ground, which is kind of cool, it just kind of disappears.
Well,
look, I want to be able to kick the guy's head around after I chop it off.
There's not enough memory on the PlayStation to take
you
care of all
know,
that.
I
There'd be
mean,
dead
come on.
bodies all over the place. You get all these creepy, cartoony Victorian England sets that you have to run around in, but you know what? It's pretty generic.
You basically play a skeleton with really crappy animations. It looked like he has something stuck in his butt. And, you know, when he runs around, he looks really weird. And the music's great, and that's about the only thing that's good about this game. I give it a 5 out of 10.
I love it when you get all technical. He's a skeleton that looks like he's got something stuck up his butt.
Well, that's very technical.
It's beautiful.
It's
poetry is what it is.
It is.
I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. Okay, so Tommy, what do you think of Top Gear Hypercycles for Nintendo 64?
Ouch.
Top Gear Hypercycles.
Yeah.
It's fun to say that.
Too bad it's not fun to play. Look, Excite Bike is the game to get if you want motorcycle racing.
Unquestionably. I actually started to enjoy this game, and this always happens with the Top Gear games. There's lots of little bits and pieces that you find off the beaten track. You get all these little extras and all these little goodies start coming out, and you feel like you're actually earning things. You've got your dirt bike tracks and you've got your city tracks.
Right, which were kind of crap. I mean, you got...
Well, they don't look good. That's the problem. The game just doesn't look good. It's really blurry and grainy visuals.
Now, they did put a level editor in, a map editor.
Yep.
And I used to be able to do this on my Intellivision, so I don't know why I can't do it now.
Right.
Because you make the mountains as high as you possibly can, right?
Right.
Let's go straight up the thing and then straight down. Can't do that. Won't let you do that.
Most games you don't get that opportunity at all. So I think that's a good point about this game, that you do have an editor mode in here. It actually gets more enjoyable the more you play it. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
I mean, I give it a 5.8.
5.8?
Yes.
All right. What'd you think of Roadsters for the Dreamcast?
It must have been, oh, hey, let's cash in on this whole Dreamcast thing. Let's put out a racing game in 6 months or something.
Titus made an N64 version of this game, and it was actually more enjoyable and a little bit classier on the Nintendo 64.
They have the Lotus Elise, which is one of my personal favorite cars.
But that's also a problem, because they went to this trouble of licensing these amazing vehicles, and they put them into these ridiculously cartoon, silly, hyper-colored environments. So you've got these robotic, really sort of dead cars on the road that handle okay when you're taking a corner, but the second you're bumping off of your opponents in there, it's like a block of wood.
Right.
And every sound effect and every sort of
is that same
nuance.
sound?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well,
you run into a mountain and it sounds exactly the same as if you're running into one of those road blockades.
Well, I'll tell you, the worst part of the game is the voiceover in this game.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so awful.
You haven't seen the last of me!
Roadsters is definitely one to avoid. There's much better racing games.
Roadkill is what they should have called it.
Yeah, big time. I'm giving Roadsters a 3.5 out of 10. What do you give it?
I give it a 4.2, and I tell you why, because they had the Lotus Elise in there, and I love that car.
What do you think about Triple Play 2001 for the PC?
Oh, well, I mean, here you go. Finally, you have a game worth talking about. Triple Play is a great game.
I like it when they go a little bit more arcadey, so the pace is quickened.
Right.
There's a little more excitement, and Triple Play definitely has that.
The one place they dropped the ball was the fans,
the stands.
crowd, the
Yeah.
stands.
They're just horrible.
Probably the worst I've ever seen, and it's like, wait, this is a high-res PC.
I know.
They do have a lot of attention to detail, though, because, you know, like if a certain player has a certain stance, they have
got that.
If they wear a certain
Chipper Jones.
sock, Chipper Jones with his socks rolled up. Motion capture is really good.
Well, one cool thing you can do in this game is take a JPEG picture of yourself
and
map yourself into the game.
So
which
you
is,
gotta love that.
Which is totally cool. And best of all, you can play it online. And baseball is definitely a sporting game that you can play online, and you're not going to deal with too many lag issues or anything like that. So this is going to be a really fun game for people to play across the world.
And you can play with a joystick and a mouse and a keyboard. I mean, they have all those options.
I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's a great game, and it's probably the baseball game that I would go for on the PC, even though I have a feeling that the hardcores out there would probably go for High Heat 2001 from 3DO.
I like putting my own face in a Yankees uniform. I'm not going to lie to you. That's a big plus for me. I give it an 8.3.
Yeah, all right. We got to go.
Cool.
Sayonara.
You can find all the games featured in Reviews in the Run and hundreds more at all Microplay locations across North America. Remember, Microplay, buy, rent, sell, trade. Production assistance for Electric Playground is provided by MPlayer, Earth's free multiplayer gaming service. Sony Computer Entertainment, makers of Siphon Filter 2 for PlayStation. And Computech Media, publishers of Insight Video Gaming, Insight PC Gaming, and Insight.com.
Recently, I went over to... No. Recently, I had a chance to talk to... Recently, I had a chance to talk to...
Give me that!
This classic episode of the Electric Playground was brought to you by PNP Games, your source for everything video games. Support the partners that support the Electric Playground. Thanks for watching, and play forever.